packaging process, as the product comes off the finish line, you saw how we had applied the top coat on the last step. The top coat, or the lacquer, will take 8 hours to dry before it comes down to this area. This is the final inspection packaging area. Every piece is checked, it's cleaned, it's making sure that they haven't missed any of the details. The drawers have to be working properly, the drawers need to be clean inside. They will then add, in this particular case, we have some additional features on our nightstands that are a touch dimmer. It's an electrical component that we add on. They will remove the plastic out of the top of the drawers. So you'll notice in here how you get the felt lining in here. They will then go through, and like I say, you see how they're evacuating of any dust or particles. They will end up just double checking to make sure everything's right before it continues to go down the line. You'll notice that we have Magnussen Home QC at every stage in this production to make sure that it's being checked multiple times, not just like many companies which will only check at the final stage. We keep people at the factory at every stage to ensure that quality is built right into the product. In this stage here, the back panel is attached on each of the case pieces. On the dresser that I showed at the beginning of this session, you know there was no back panel. They include the back panel on these pieces as they go through. They put the production code sticker, the country of origin, and then they put assembly instructions in a bag that's stapled to the back of it. This is just one of the things that we do, and you can see how it's very clean, how it's very organized. From this stage, they then go and they start wrapping the product. Step one to the process is putting the little polyfoam in between each one of the drawers so you don't get any rub through or abrasion occurred during transportation. Then they take the polyfoam sheet, as you see, wrapping it around, which provides an additional protective barrier from the corrugated cardboard and the styrofoam that goes over top. The reason that you put this polyfoam sheeting around is because if you put cardboard directly onto the finished surface, it will scratch through and rub the paint right through. It's like a very fine sandpaper. This process requires where they take the molded styrofoam corner pads as well as the corrugated cardboard. They're using a sandwich effect to protect the corners and all the top edges and the outer edges. This ensures that when the product is handled through the transportation industry, it can take multiple impacts without damaging the product underneath. Each one of these groups, when it's first developed, will go through a series of drop tests where it's dropped 10 times on different locations throughout the product, and it must pass without having any damage, visible damage, or structural damage. If we do sustain any damage, then we have to go back and increase the protection. But you'll see how there's multiple layers of styrofoam. They go around the middle of the case first, then the top corners. They'll end up doing the top edge, the preceding corners. Finally, at that point, when all the styrofoam is put on, then it goes down the finishing line till it gets to the next stage where they put cardboard box over top of it, flip it upside down, and repeat the process on the underside of the product. Corrugated cardboard goes on. In this case here, we used 150-pound 5-ply corrugated cardboard, 150-pound bursting strength 5-ply corrugated cardboard, which offers additional protection to the product. It slides through the line, flipped upside down. As you see him sliding it down, he's going to turn it upside down. The electrical touch dimmer is added onto the product. They remove the wood cleats off the bottom here and then put in a soft nylon glide, which actually protects the floor in the consumer's home from being damaged. After the nylon glides are added, then they'll take the corrugated cardboard, the styrofoam, placing it over the feet, and then putting a wood pallet over top to protect it even further. The product now gets the corrugated cardboard, styrofoam sandwich. Okay. They now put over the feet corrugated cardboard and styrofoam corner pads on it as well, on each one of the legs. And the final step is you'll see in a moment, where they take the wood pallet. It's a particle board wood pallet. We talked about the particle boards before. They put over top everything, and then they seal it up. And they seal it up with tape. And that's the finished product.